All right, so today I'm going to demonstrate using the figure drawing poses that I recorded of myself to show you how to draw them using the 1 minute and 5 minute styles of figure drawing. So we're going to be using just the lines, and then we'll be using the lines and the forms to focus on the pose and the proportion of the figure. This is going to be a little weird, like it's you watching me drawing me. I recognize that. It's going to be okay. You're going to draw in pencil. I'm going to draw in Sharpie so that you can see it. If you want to draw in Sharpie, you're welcome to. The point is we're not spending a lot of time erasing, so whatever you have to draw with is fine. I'm going to encourage you to try to fill up a piece of paper with a sketch, like one pose per page. If you could draw all of the poses that we do on one page, but you're going to have trouble working with the proportions because they're going to be so small. Filling up a page with one of the figures is going to help you be able to determine if you're getting that real 7.5 head height, rather than making it really tiny. I have this old sketchbook I'm willing to use. You can use whatever paper you have on hand. Okay, so let's get started. Start the video here, a 1 minute pose. So I'm going to start by looking. I have to look carefully. I have a head, so I'm going to start with that head, but I want to leave room for the hands. So I'm going to do my head a little bit lower. The curve of the spine from the head down to where the hips are. The shoulders are angled a little bit up and away, and the hips are angled a little bit down and away. This leg is straight, so I'm going to come straight down with one, and then the knee and the foot right here. This leg is angled a little bit more, so it's going to come here, and the foot ends at the same place, but it's got that, it's pointed. This arm starts here, down, and away, so I want to think about that relationship between where the body is, the hand is from the body. This one comes up, and then a little bit up like that, and then the hand. And I can count my head heights: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I might have made my head a little bit big. We tend to make the head larger than it needs to be in proportion to the body. Okay, that's number 1. Next page. See how I didn't have a lot of time to make adjustments? I'm looking closely and I'm drawing a decisive line. So here's another 1 minute pose. Okay, so we're starting here. Miss Powell finally has it together. Setting the timer for 1 minute. Okay, so here I have the head. The spine is straight, but the shoulders cut across the chin. So the shoulders are way up here this time, and the hips are down here. This leg comes down and down with the foot. And this one is going back, but notice how the foot is higher back here. So I have this, and then I have this, and then the foot. This arm extends forward, and this one extends down. Need a little bit more angle on that. Down and down. Now, count my head heights: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5. I feel pretty good about that. I think I could have worked a little bit better to get this diagonal angle of the arms, but that's something to pay attention to in the future, that this hand is actually up here near where the chin would be. Okay, so you get the idea. You're going to continue on with the 1 minute poses. I'm going to jump to the 5 minute pose. Okay, so this is the 5 minute pose. On top, we're going to start with those same lines, the head, the line for the spine and the hips, and then we're going to add the forms over it, those 3-dimensional shapes that give the structure to the body. So here we go. You're still working fast. 5 minutes isn't that much time, but it is going to be more time. Okay, and again, you're doing this in pencil. So I start here with the head. I have the spine that's straight coming down. My shoulders are angled downward just a little bit. and my hips are angled pretty straight. This leg comes down and down with that foot down below, and this one comes out and then down just a little bit. Out and then down, and my foot sits out here. This arm comes out and then sits right on the hip, and this one comes out and down. I'm going to bring that down just a little bit because it's going back in space, so it's not going to have quite as much of an angle. And this arm is going to look shorter, but it's really just that it's foreshortened. Okay, so now I'm going to start with forms. For the head, I want to think of my face as a cube. My head is a cube. So my face is the front of the cube. And I see this part of it that comes down and over. Okay, so I'm seeing the bottom of my chin more than I am seeing the top. Okay, the neck is a cylinder. The torso here is like a rectangular prism that's sort of angled. So I have this piece that comes out here, and then I have this box, this rectangular prism right here as well. Okay. Next, for the legs, I'm going to use cylinders. So I start with an oval at the top and an oval where it hits the knee, and I'm going to connect those two. And then again, an oval below the knee and an oval above the foot, and it should taper a little bit. But this gives you an idea of where it's connecting to the hips and where it's connecting to the knee. But we're leaving those joint areas as gaps. Same thing with the arms. Find where it meets the body. And think about these cylinders, these ovals, as sort of pointing you in the direction of where these body parts are pointing and facing. Okay? So that is the 3D forms. I'm going to show you, I didn't use the full time on that one, that's okay. I'm going to show you another example of the 5-minute sketch with the forms, just so that you can get an idea of what that looks like. All right, here we go. So again, I'm starting with the lines, getting the form and posture down. So I have the head. I have the spine is sort of curved, so I'm going to curve it away a little bit. My shoulders are angled a lot, and sort of downward. So the chin and the top of the shoulder are sort of in similar lines. And but the hips are facing pretty straight at me. This leg is coming out, so it starts here, comes out, but then it's going to end up back where it started with my foot coming down like that. This leg is foreshortened, it's coming straight out at us. So it's going to look shorter. It's actually going to come almost straight out, and then this will come down and my foot will rest below where this foot is. This arm starts here, comes across the body, and then down for my hand to rest there on my knee. And then this arm comes down the side of the body and down again, and we sort of lose it back here. Okay, so now for the forms. I'm kind of seeing the side of my face and a little bit of the, oh, I did that wrong. A little bit of the bottom again. So we have that cube for the head. Find the shoulders, the front of the torso, and then this part of my torso, this lower part where the hips are. There's this gap here. We don't need to necessarily, if this is facing the right direction and this is facing the right direction, what's happening in here will be fine without actually giving it a shape. For the leg, my oval faces here to here, and I'm going to connect those. And then this one faces here and here. I'll connect those like that. This one, you'll see, just feels really, really short, but it's still right there. Still happening where it needs to happen. It just feels odd because we can't see all of it. This arm comes across. It gets a little blocky in here. That's okay. You're getting the hang of it. It's all right if there's overlapping. Okay? And if you want to add, you know, the stool I'm sitting on, it's actually part of my coffee table, you can add that in if that helps you understand where this rests. Okay? Give that a try. I'm excited to see your work.